Foreign policy panel to weigh in. We have the host of the Foreign Desk podcast, Lisa Daftari, as well as the Secretary General of the Transatlantic Parliamentary Group and author of Iran, an Imperialist Republic, Walid Phares. Friends, good to see you. It's been a while since I had the two of you on together. Happy we're reunited again. Walid, I want to kick this off with you. Talk to me a little bit about the regional politics at play here, why Mali and Burkina Faso would oppose intervention.
We have not been paying enough attention, that's the Biden administration, on Africa in general, anywhere in the Middle East, obviously, but certainly the Sahel region that you have described now. Other powers have been intervening. Other powers have had influence in Sudan, for example, during the conflict, and that's Russia, and that's the Wagner Group. Basically, you have now three countries coming together, you just mentioned them, and those countries are supporting the coup in Niger. Obviously, the French and us and others would like to change that regime, the new regime in Niger. The problem is that Wagner Group is now well entrenched in those three other countries, especially in Mali. And now let me add to that the possibility that the Republic of Central Africa would be also siding with the Wagner Group. So we are dealing with a situation which did not exist even last year. And this could inflame the region. I don't know if the French or our administration, which is busy with domestic matters, are going to be able to redress it at this point in time.
Yeah, Lisa, I have to agree with Walid. This is definitely a blind spot for the administration right now. And if ECOWAS countries act on their ultimatum, this obviously could be very bad for regional stability, potentially war in West Africa. I mean, do you see a point at which the U.S. would begin to get involved?
Well, the U.S. would first have to call it a coup. The Biden administration has even stopped short of calling it a coup, even though we have evacuated American citizens and half of the embassy there has been evacuated as well. Look, what's going on in Niger is very bad news for the United States and Europe and great news for jihadists and for Russia. It's a huge strategic partner. They have oil, they have assets, they have minerals, and also in terms of fighting jihadism, they have been a major partner for the West. So I guess we did not get the memo to pay attention to what's been going on in that continent, but you know who did? Russia. And that's exactly what we're seeing on the ground. Imagine a day in which French flags were being burned and Russian flags were being waved. So obviously they have made major waves on the ground there in terms of winning over hearts and minds. And with regards to the United States, I think they're going to wait to see what happens by the Sunday deadline. Obviously, we don't think that when we're not using our leverage in terms of foreign policy, this is what we talk about all the time. This is what weak foreign policy leads to. We have been paying so much money in military aid and assistance to Niger, but not having a hand in what goes on in the entire continent. We're not paying attention. And it's been up for grabs. And of course, Russia has intervened and we see China's influence there. We see Iran's regime's influence in that continent. But the United States has taken a step back. So now they're going to wait and say, pretty please bring the president back and reinstate the Constitution. But it generally doesn't work that way.
Walid, I want to switch gears for a moment and talk about some of the developments that we're monitoring out of Ukraine. Recent reports show that Ukraine is threatening the oil export infrastructure that helps fund Moscow's invasion using a drone strike to damage a Russian naval vessel. How concerning is this?
It's very concerning. Any development of any war, especially between Ukraine and Russia, is going to be dangerous because it's getting closer to the Black Sea. It's getting closer to the Caucasus. But let me just mention that next month there is a round table, a peace conference table, starting, guess where? In Saudi Arabia, and a country that we had some problems with, at least under the Obama and Biden administration. Now it's coming and saying, I can moderate between Russia and Ukraine. So one result of these peace talks is that each side in that conflict, Ukraine and Russia, are trying to get the best positions they can, weaken this other side as much as they can, so that when they start those peace talks, they will have an advantage in the negotiations.
Lisa, I want to move on to East Asia. I wanted to get your thoughts on Travis King, the U.S. soldier imprisoned in North Korea. And according to a Reuters exclusive, the U.S. will not invoke prisoner of war status for King. This means that he may not get covered by protections given to POWs under the Geneva Convention, and that includes access to the Red Cross for health care and the ability to contact family. Do you think North Korea, obviously, I mean, what action do you see the North Korea taking, given the fact that this is a U.S. soldier, regardless of his POW status?
Right, but you have to look at the facts on both sides here. Like, he walked into North Korea with civilian clothing and he was on a private tour. So the North Koreans basically got lucky on this one. He could have been a plumber or a surgeon or anything else. He does happen to be a member of the military, so that's why many people think that he obviously should get prisoner of war advantages, including, like you said, being able to message his family, getting proper medical care, even up to the number of cigarettes he's allowed per day, one expert was saying. But on the other end, how do we know that the North Koreans would even keep up their part of the deal if he were to be called a prisoner of war? So here we should really be focusing on getting him home, getting any hostage home, and not worrying so much about the semantics and the labels.
All right, Lisa Daftari, great to see you. Walid Phares, you as well. Great to have you both on. Thanks for being here.